All right, we've just wrapped up today's question time. Big session, a lot of things we talked about. Holiday house market, is it going down? Pandemic and the search terms, what's changed? Pros and cons of splitting your mortgage. More listings, what does that mean for buyers? And of course, investing in property with your super fund. If you want to find out more about these topics, watch the full video. These are the main themes that I've seen happening this last 7 days. Holiday homes are finally starting to see a slowdown in the thirst for buying those that we've had from people. What does that mean? Let's chat about that a little bit more. Search terms that we're seeing from these major listing portals. What are the changes and why? Pros and cons of mortgage splitting. We'll talk about that. We've been talking about interest rates for at least the last 2 years. More listings. What does that mean for people? Is it good, bad, indifferent? And then super. Obviously, as more and more people are looking to get back in and buy an investment property, using your own superannuation money can be a good alternative. So we'll run through some pros and cons there for you as well. Okay, what do we see? Clearance rates on the weekend. So last weekend's results were pretty good. We had a national clearance rate of 75%. I might just share these again. Had a few people, I forgot to do it last week, asked me to share these so you can see them on the big screen. Hopefully, Greg, just give me a thumbs up. I've shared the right screen. Good. I can't see what I'm sharing, so sometimes I share something silly. So as I said, 75% was the national clearance rate. Really, really good results. Sydney, Melbourne, 75 and 74% respectively. Huge numbers again. I think this was the second busiest week this year. Those of you that are tuning in every week might hear me keep saying that. Well, we keep one-upping ourselves. So over 3,500 auctions occurred during the week. And we had Super Saturday in Sydney and Melbourne. So just under 1,300 auctions in Sydney and 1,556 auctions in Melbourne. So that's really strong results. Those of you that are unsure, we are seeing more transactions happen, but we're still seeing really, really good clearance rates. There is a bit of chat, a bit of worry. I wouldn't be too concerned about it, and we will talk about it a little bit more. But just remember that just because we were seeing close to or above 80% for a long period of time, that is unseen, unheard of. That is a huge rate. Basically, anything over 60% is still what we call a seller's market. So, the mid-70s is a really, really strong result. I went through in detail last week, so I'm just going to skip over this quickly for those of you that haven't seen this before. This is from realestate.com. The reason I like to show this is the volume of transactions that we've seen. The red line is 2021, the blue line is last year, 2020, and the grey line is 2019. The reason why I like to sort of share this with everyone is that it sort of shows, we always talk about the depth of the market. So it's one thing to see these results coming through, to see price rises, but it's important to know how many transactions are actually behind that. So you can see here from the red line, it has been way above 2020 and 2019 before there was even a pandemic ever thought about. You can see in, I think this was last week or the week before, week 44 of the year. I don't know which one that is. I think that might have been the end of October. There was just in that week, 7,755 property sales that went through nationally. That's a huge number for a week. Massive number of transactions. So you can be pretty confident with the results that we're seeing. For those of you that are nervous, I'm saying, is there real truth behind these numbers? If you want to break down state by state, you can see here, compared to 2020, no surprise, 45% more sales occurred in the year to date than what we had in 2020. Unsurprisingly, Victoria leads the charge, 62% more sales. Obviously, 2020 was a total disaster and write-off for Victoria, the only state in the country to actually still have the coronavirus pandemic. New South Wales, 37% more, and the rest pretty strong as well. So this really just shows you that these numbers that we're talking about, the results you're seeing on the street, they're not just few and far between. There is a ton of transactions going on and some of the highest volumes that we've seen in a long, long time. Okay, that's pretty much it for the information section. I said it would be short and sharp. They're really just starters to get you going. So those of you that are thinking, you want to know more about it, jump in the Q&A and put your questions in there so you're top of the queue.